All right, so tell me if this sounds familiar. You sit down on the couch, maybe you put your feet up, you get your phone out, you're ready to play some Candy Crush and just kind of like mentally zone out, and your kid comes in the room and asks for something. You immediately jump up and go get it for them. Or maybe you've got kind of your idea of how you want your day to go, and your husband comes to you and says, hey, let's go do such and such today. You don't want to shut him down. He's being spontaneous. You drop all of your plans. You go do what he wants to do. These little moments of kind of giving up your time and what you want might seem innocent enough, but in the long run, over time, they do build up and they create kind of a distance between you and yourself. So today in this video, I want to talk with you about what self-care is from my perspective, how important it is to maintaining your connection with yourself, and how prioritizing self-care can really help you set goals and actually reach them in the future. Hey everybody, I'm Jaylene with Your Next 40 Years, and on this channel I talk about how to really show up for yourself as fully as you do for everyone else in your life. So if that sounds interesting to you and something like that you want to be a part of, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and click the bell so that you get notified each week when I make a new video. All right, so as a mom of 3, I work full time. I completely understand that kind of tendency to give up your time, your plans, because there's this expectation, I think, that we put on ourselves as mom and as women, that it's our responsibility to make sure that everyone else in our lives is getting what they need and feels like they are being heard and being listened to and getting the things that they want to happen for them. And it's our responsibility to make sure that happens. And so, of course, that means that, we put ourselves last or in the back of the line. And the guilt that comes with putting ourselves first is absolutely real. It can be a real deterrent. It can really make you feel like, I can't put myself first because my kids will feel like I don't love them, or it'll cause an argument between me and my husband, or I'll seem like I'm being, a drama queen or something like that. These are all thoughts and processes that have gone through my head when I started to kind of reevaluate how I was interacting with the people in my family, but also how I was interacting with myself. So it's kind of a new concept to think about interacting with yourself as a person, right? Because we kind of go through our day on autopilot. We don't really consider ourselves a person in our lives. And that's kind of a different way of thinking of things, but it's so important, especially going into your next 40 years of life, when the kids are going to be, moving out of the house, or, there's going to be more and more space for you to be with yourself. And if you haven't really made that connection or been thinking about, who you are or what your relationship is with yourself, those times when you find yourself with some space and some extra time, it can really be jarring because you haven't been connecting with or thinking about who you are as a person in your life. So in my opinion, self-care should be taught in hospitals the same way that lamaze is for new moms. I feel like this is such a vital part of being a mom and kind of moving into that next phase of life. It's really easy to take for granted all of the quiet time and the space and the privacy that you have when you don't have kids. Then suddenly you have children, and not only is all of that kind of disrupted, but also there's this new kind of perspective that you have where whatever the kid needs comes first. And that's necessary in the beginning, right? Because they're a baby and they need, all the attention all the time. As the child grows, though, there's opportunity to kind of take back some of that. And that's really where self-care and prioritizing self-care comes into place. And I'm not talking about self-care as far as like, oh, go get a massage or go get a pedicure, that kind of thing. Those things obviously are like amazing, but I'm talking about self-care where it's like caring about yourself and who you are and what you need. And if you don't know what you need, then self-care in terms of figuring out what you need, what you want, what you like, all of those kinds of things that kind of get lost in the shuffle when you're taking care of a child or several children. So my first tip for you is set your definition of success. So how are you going to be able to organize your day to feel successful, like you have tended to the needs of everyone, but then also included yourself in that everyone, right? So for me, it's having that time in the morning to set my intention for the day, set my, what I am going to feel successful about getting done that day. How will I feel like a good parent that day? How will I feel like I was a good partner that day? Just really kind of thinking about, whatever's on the agenda for the day. How am I going to feel like that day was successful? I was successful in it. I prioritized myself and I touched base with everybody else. The next tip is be responsible with your yeses. So basically what I think this to mean is like, if I say yes to something, it means I'm going to have to say no to something else. It's just a check and balance kind of system. So I want my yes to be for something that, is really super duper important. So like if my kiddo is asking me to come and watch something that they've learned how to do in their video game or something along those lines, I'm going to say, can mommy watch that maybe a little bit later today? Or how about if we have, 20 minutes on Friday where you can show me all of this? Or can you just tell me about it real quick? Or, and those kinds of things, because I've set my definition of success, I don't feel guilty about that. And I, and I check in with my kids every night and I ask them, how do you know that I love you? How do you feel like your day went today? Just saying no in that moment, I can't watch, what you've learned in your video game. It's not something that I feel is a bad thing. Because by not saying yes to that, I get to say yes to something else that might be even more important or even more impactful. So I just kind of think about my yeses in a way that, they're worth money, say. I'm not going to spend it on this thing so that I can save it and spend it on this thing instead. So it's just kind of a check and balance. And it's also, it helps me to kind of temper that need for the more that I'm doing, the more I'm involved in, the more worthy I am, because that's not true. Like I am worthy regardless, right? But I do have this tendency of kind of overextending myself, getting involved in, too many things to help me feel worthy. So by being more responsible with my yeses, I'm kind of tempering that tendency also. So it's kind of like a win-win. So as far as building time into your day for self-care, so you've set your intention for the day, you've kind of defined what's going to make you feel successful that day. You're being responsible with your yeses, so you're not overextending yourself. So you've kind of freed up a little bit of time. There's a little more wiggle room in your day to kind of, build in these little self-care activities. This is kind of where procrastination will set in, or maybe making excuses. And that's totally normal, because when you do something new, your brain is kind of like, this is new, this is different, this is making me feel uncomfortable. Let's bring it back to normal. And your normal may not be, very healthy or supportive. So your brain's kind of trying to bring you back there. So it's very, very, common to have these excuses come up or procrastinating. And so with that, you just need to kind of trick your brain a little bit, change your mindset. And so instead of being like, oh, I don't have time to do that right now, I have this other list of things, say something to yourself like, I'm not going to make time to do that. And if that doesn't really resonate and it kind of makes you feel a little like, you know, unaccomplished or uncomfortable, then you'll be more likely to, you know, set the time and do it. So if you're like, oh, I don't have time to do that. Take a pause, wait a minute. I'm not gonna make time to do that. Take a pause, wait a minute, that doesn't feel right, that doesn't feel good. I'm gonna do it for 5 minutes, right? So then you've kind of gone through this process where you've just tricked your brain and changed your mind a little bit. For me, exercise is a big thing of self-care that I do every day. So it's really easy for me to start thinking about, oh, I don't feel good. Oh, you know, I'm too tired, or oh, I have a headache from staring at the computer all day, or that kind of thing. And then all of a sudden, like, my body starts to feel bad because my mind is telling it all of these negative things, right? And then I say to myself, exercising is just not that important to me. It's not a priority. That's not true. It's a very big priority for me. It's something that I think is very important. So when I tell myself that, it kind of tricks my brain and I start to argue with myself. It's like reverse psychology. I start to argue with myself and I'm like, wait a minute, that's super important to me. I'm going to get up and go exercise right now. And then of course, once I start, I'm like, I'm going to go exercise for at least 5 minutes, right? And then I get started and I'm like, oh, I feel really good. Like, I want to keep doing this. I'm going to do the whole workout, or I'm going to do 15 minutes, or, you know, it's just kind of changing your mindset, tricking your brain a little bit. It's natural, like I said, for your brain to come up with all kinds of excuses. So if you just kind of answer back those excuses and trick your brain a little bit, it's a lot easier to get past those kind of excuses. All right, so those are my 3 tips for you to help you build self-care into your day every day. Remember, self-care is a way for you to stay connected with you and yourself, just like you are a person in your life, right? So if your kiddo needs your time or needs you to help them with something, you know, you're going to show up and you're going to do it for them, as long as it's, you know, something that you want to spend your yeses on. So show up for yourself. You know, show that self-care is something that's important for you. So make it a priority. Use these tricks to help you get past any excuses, to help you feel like it's a priority for your day. And if you need an accountability tool, I have a free one that you can download. It's at yournext40years.com/ritual tracker. And it's a great little accountability tool. You can print it off for free and just use it every day to kind of help you remember to build that habit of self-care. So that's all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here with me. I really appreciate your time. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification, and I will see you in the next video.